goes into this stuff, but to tell you how popular the bowl swag was for the Poulon Weed Eater Independence Bowl, I ended up at the University of Alabama in their soup store, and I guess they had leftover jumpsuits with the Weed Eater Independence Bowl logos, and I do have a jumpsuit somewhere that's an Independence Bowl jumpsuit.
Huh?
Yeah, it was that popular. I've actually bought a jumpsuit on a discounted price after they won the Independence Bowl. Now, you're not going to find that now. They get a lot nicer swag.
Oh, now it's like you usually get a gift
college
card.
Football playoff and stuff.
Yeah, you get a gift card. Now, the popular thing is you get a Sony gift card to the Sony Suite, which basically all it is you get a $500 gift card to go shopping, or $1,000, whatever it is, to go shopping in what Sony provides, and you just buy it, and there you go. But anyway.
Just don't give it to Jeremy Sprinkle of Arkansas.
7 bowl games will get you started tomorrow.
I think his was Macy's, and it ended up being carnage, man. I don't know. I think he ended up leaving with some stuff that he didn't pay for.
Oh, who's all not done that?
Yeah.
Anyway, 256-576-4977. That's the number to the phone lines. We got a lot of stuff to get through, a lot of college football news and notes to go through. I think the biggest thing, it was presented yesterday as a big story. I didn't think it was a big story, because I never knew there was an inkling of he even going to the NFL, and that is Jalen Milroe announcing he's coming back for his senior year. Did I miss something on that?
No, you didn't miss anything. If you read the tea leaves, everybody expect him to come back. I mean, I guess anytime a guy has the option, and he's had the kind of year Milroe has had, which, since the first 3 games in the first month, he's played outstanding. Certainly, he could have that option. But if you read between the lines and read the tea leaves, Jalen needs more time to be a starting quarterback in the SEC and continue to improve and get better. And then you also look at the quarterback class coming out.
Right.
And how deep it is. It would not be a good business move for him. And so, to me, it wasn't even a story. I know he went on the next round, and he was asked that, and he said, yes, I'm coming back for my senior year. In actuality, though, he has 2 years of eligibility left. He actually he graduated this month,
right? But
he's actually only a redshirt sophomore, because last year when he got a little playing time, he's a redshirt freshman. He redshirted in 2021. So he's going to be going into his redshirt junior year. So do I expect him, if he has another great year, to stay for said year? Absolutely not. But I'm just saying, it's just kind of like Seth McLaughlin, the center, who hasn't announced anything. I believe he has 2 years, even though he's a genius, basically. He's already got a bachelor's and a master's degree. But I would still be mildly surprised if Seth McLaughlin doesn't at least come back for 1 more year as well.
There we go. Let's go out to the phone lines. Mark from Spring Hill with us. Good morning, Mark.
Hey, good morning, guys. I was going to ask you just two questions. One is, A.J. McCarron the only Alabama quarterback that's led them to 2 national titles, as a quarterback at Alabama, or has there been any other quarterback that's done that?
I mean, during the Saban era, no. I mean, he quarterbacked the team in 11 and 12. And as far as going all the way back at least to 61 forward with Coach Bryant, I don't think so, because I don't think they had the same starting QB. Just about every, even when they won it in 78 and 79, I don't believe they had the same starting quarterback. So I don't think so. I think AJ is the only one that returned as the starting QB for Alabama and ended up with 2 national championship rings.
Yeah, I looked into the crystal ball, I guess. If Milroe can make this happen and then can get it done next year, and I know it's a tough schedule and all that, but it is a playoff, it's doable. Wouldn't that be some swan song story? He comes back, gets that done back to back, and then all of a sudden, Georgia is like Georgia who? I mean, and it's just amazing how quickly the script can change in college football. I think, that just shows you how big one win You got to win the next one and the next one. I know not to get too far here ahead of myself, but it is amazing. And I think people like A.J. McCarron, I'm afraid they kind of get forgotten a little as we get further down the road. We just had some such great players under Coach Saban. And I wanted to mention this, too, see if y'all saw this on Paul Feinbaum's show. They had some nuts. I don't know who he is, but he said that Michigan, the reason they have a decent chance out in the Rose Bowl, here's his reason. The grass, the field, will slow Alabama down. I'm thinking, I mean, what do they got out there, a hayfield?
Well, so, I don't know.
I can tell you, after walking on it, is the best manicured, perfectly turf that I have ever walked on in my life. But it's not that thick, I'll tell you that. I mean, I'll say this. It's not as – the track is not as fast as what they play on down here. I will say that much. But Alabama didn't have a problem on it when they went out there the last time.
Yeah, and that's the thing I'm wondering, and I think that's what he was talking about, is that they're not going to be able to play fast. And, I thought, what was his name, Darius, number 57, I thought he ran
Marcel
pretty good
Darius,
for
yeah.
a big guy. I thought he ran pretty good on that interception. But what are your thoughts on that in terms of it? I know that probably never thought you'd talk about the turf today, but this guy thought it would play a role in Michigan and Alabama.
I'll just say chess, not checkers, because we need to talk about George Hilo.
Well, I mean, it's
because
that turf
Saban
out
just
there.
hired him.
That turf out there in the Rose Bowl, I tell you what, is the best turf that they will play on by far. The grass is unbelievable, but it's not.
You can talk about grass all you want. Saban just hired a Michigan assistant coach.
And we'll get into that.
Yeah,
we'll get into that. All right, Jacob is with us this morning. Good morning, Jacob.
Good morning, guys. How are y'all?
That's a lot more important than grass. What's up?
So y'all were talking about the Independence Bowl earlier.
Yes, sir.
And it just reminded me of one of my fondest Alabama memories, and I really don't know why, because I'm pretty sure we lost the game. But it might have been 06, 07 Independence Bowl.
Oh, yeah. That was the day, but the last game before Saban. Yep, that's right.
Yeah,
you're correct.
Game before Saban. And I'm not sure why that really sticks out to me, but that's just one of the games that always pops back into my head. I want to say we played the Cowpokes of Oklahoma State.
Correct.
Yeah, so, just wanted to say thank you all for mentioning that Independence Bowl. Kind of got the old memory going.
Well, I'll just say this. That Javier Arenas had a punt return for a touchdown in that game. I believe that was his freshman year.
But it was the halftime.
Yeah, the inside trap.
A lot of people remember.
Vandy could find it. You could find it on YouTube. Inside trap. Joe Kynes talking about it at halftime. That's what they had to stop was the inside trap. I think Andre Smith even scored the only touchdown of his career. It was on like a little tackle eligible play, and again, Joe was the interim head coach, and my biggest memory of that is watching Alabama puke all over themselves and lose the game. And it was during a break in the Huntsville Times Classic. It was the Times Classic back then.
Yep.
And there was the long break in between. I believe it was the second day, which is of course the quarterfinals and then the semifinals. And we were in our break, and we had the game being broadcast over the loudspeakers in the new gym, which is it was the old Huntsville High. Well, hold on. You said 06? No, it was the new one. It was the new one. The new one had been open like 2 years, and I think we even were watching it on the flat screen, the AV screen, watching them throw up all over themselves and lose to Oklahoma Puke. But luckily, just a few months later, they got a real coach in there, and Saban came to town, and Alabama did. Ironically, they had to return to the Independence Bowl the next year. And our good friend and coach of the year, Nikita Stover, did a backflip did a flip into the end zone to give coach an aneurysm. But Alabama beat Colorado and Dan Hawkins in intramurals and won that game, even though the NC Double Stupid made them vacate it the next year because of the textbook scandal. But again, they still won the game. Everybody knows that. And of course, the biggest moment of that week was Nick Saban being videotaped like dancing or something. So that was in the build up to the game where because Alabama ended up 7-6 that year on the field, and it secured a winning season because they did not play well down the stretch, including losing the Iron Bowl 17-10 because DJ Hall was a gutless coward and couldn't catch the ball in the back of the end zone.
That's right. Yeah, I'd forgotten all about going back the very next year, and then that textbook scandal completely. That's going way back for me.
Yeah.
I mean, DJ Hall was a good player, but, again, he had the toughness of a grape.
Absolutely, yeah. He was kind of the last big receiver right before Julio.
Yeah, and I wouldn't even compare him to Julio, but,
No,
it is what it is.
Him, but, he was probably the most well-known receiver before Julio, most recent well-known.
Yeah. All right, Jacob, thanks for the phone call, bud.
Guys.
All right, yeah. Strolling down memory lane. All right, tell you what.
Stop that little inside trap.
Here it is.
Hurt us much. We playing pretty hard. We just got to stop that inside thing. Offensively, we kind of sputtered around, got the ball in the end zone. Defensively, we got to get out off the field on that 2-minute drive.
With key injuries to your offensive line, what do you do in the second half?
Oh, we'll just go play. We just got to keep playing.
Thank you, Coach.
There it is, Joe Kynes. Oh, what a way to send it to break. When we come back, yes, Alabama has added a new member to its staff. Boy, oh boy, did it have Twitter ablaze yesterday. We'll fill you in and get more of your phone calls next.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Just got a report of a stalled vehicle, Madison Boulevard and Glen Hearn, blocking up a lane on the ramp there. Got a wreck at Sutton and Old Big Cove, or near the intersection. Got a vehicle versus a deer. And we got a water rescue in Swan Creek, in the Swan Creek management area. Apparently got units from Morgan County and Limestone County headed to that one. It's a boater that got thrown out of a boat. Officers, construction workers, and first responders put their lives on the line every time they step on the roadway. Why not make it safer for them? Slow down or move over. It is the law. Captain Eck in the North Parkway, Popeyes, Skywatch Traffic Center.
Specializing in simple and affordable rentals, McCurry Van and Car Rental can make sure you have just the right vehicle for your next family vacation, weekend getaway, or if you just need transportation while your vehicle is being repaired. McCurry carries Ford Transit vans and Mercedes Sprinter vans, trucks and work vans, and more. And they offer discounted rental rates for long-term rentals. Now with 4 locations: Athens, Muscle Shoals, Coleman, and Huntsville. Log on McCurryRentals.com to make your reservation now. That's McCurryRentals.com.
When I chose a garage door company, I did my homework. I needed Precision Overhead Garage Door Service. They have a 5-star Google rating. I checked their reviews and liked what their customers had to say. Precision Overhead Garage Door has lifetime warranty packages. Same-day service if I call before 2 p.m. If they can't make it the same day, my service call fee the next day is waived. They did a 25-point safety inspection on the door and operator. Now that's peace of mind. Residential, commercial, and gate services. Precision Overhead Garage Door Service. Call 256-400-4500.
At Mr. Sparky, we're America's on-time electrician. Flickering lights and hot switches can be annoying, but they can also signal a major problem, or worse, an electrical emergency. So play it safe and leave it to the experts at Mr. Sparky. Trust our team of professional, clean, and friendly electricians. We'll get it done right and get it done safely.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Independently owned and operated, licensed in the respective state or county.
Football season and Bad Daddy's Burger Bar. The perfect combination of good times and great food. This season, score big with one of our chef-inspired expressions of pure burger amazingness. Our delicious burgers are made with premium Angus beef, and you can pair it with one of our signature cocktails or a cold craft beer from our huge selection. Bad Daddy's Burger Bar on the Parkway in Huntsville and our new location at Cliff Farm, Highway 72 in Madison.
Everyone loves Nashville right now. It's the perfect family getaway, but it isn't just known for its food, bright lights, and music. It's also known for football. The Trans-Perfect Music City Bowl is coming to Nissan Stadium on December 30th. Come see Auburn versus Maryland right here in Music City. The music, the food, the fun. Spend your weekend in Nashville. It's your family's perfect start to the new year. Tickets are available now at MusicCityBowl.com and on SeatGeek. Brought to you by Tennessee Lottery.
Ann Adams with Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate is the one name to know if you're buying or selling real estate. With years of local experience, Ann Adams offers buyers in-depth knowledge of the local housing market and will narrow available properties down to those you'll be interested in so you can save time when shopping for your new home. If you're ready to sell, Ann offers a seamless process using accurate pricing and expert negotiation skills to make sure you get a fair price for your home. Call Ann Adams today at 256-337-2625 or log on bhhsriserealestate.com.
So for some reason we love the Independence Bowl today.
Yeah, we're looking at the
we got a lot of
Poolin' Weed Eater team. The commercial was classic. It had like Flash the dog from Dukes of Hazzard in the commercial.
So from 90 to 97, it was the Weed Eater Bowl.
Right,
okay?
right.
From 98 to 2000, it was the Sanford Independence Bowl. And then from 01 to 03, it became the Mainstay Funds Independence Bowl.
Mainstay Funds, okay.
06 to 08, it was the Petro Sun Independence Bowl.
So it's Petro Sun. And say that again about when it was, what it was in 02?
02, it would have been the Mainstay Funds.
In 01 too, right?
Yes.
Okay,
01, 02,
so
and
it had
03.
an eagle, so that was the Mainstay Funds logo I guess. Yeah.
The Advocare.
I remember that. Okay.
09 to 13.
Yeah.
And then 1 year it became the Duck Commander.
Oh, yeah! I remember that one.
In 14. In 15 and 16, it was the Camping World Independence Bowl.
Okay.
17 to 19, it was the Walk-Ons Independence Bowl, the restaurant.
Yeah.
And now it's from 20 on, it's been the Radiance Technologies Independence Bowl. From 76 to 89, it was just the Independence Bowl.
Then it started getting sponsored.
Yeah.
And good. And for Mark from Spring Hill, I thought this was the case. I wanted to double check, but 78 starting QB for Alabama, Jeff Rutledge, as I was saying, and then 79 Stedman Shealy. So yes, AJ McCarron is the only guy to return and win back-to-back national championships as a starter, and almost won it in 13 until the kick six, which was brutality.
So there are two teams that have 5 appearances in the Independence Bowl, the most ever in the Independence Bowl.
Right.
They are Louisiana Tech and Ole Miss.
And Ole Miss. And Alabama's up there.
Alabama has 3.
Yeah.
That is the second most. Air Force, Alabama, Missouri, Southern Miss, Virginia Tech, McNeese State, Texas A&M, Texas Tech, and Tulsa all have 3 appearances in the Independence Bowl. Georgia, by the way.
Right.
Georgia, LSU, Arkansas, Iowa State, Oklahoma State, Oregon, South Carolina, Miami of Florida all have 2.
Nice.
Those are your teams that have been in the Independence Bowl. All right. Anyway, we have derailed, but that's okay.
It's never a derailment. We could Google the Poolin' Weed Eater commercial and watch the Flash come across the screen.
It's fun though to reminisce about
is.
some of these bowl games and you forget some of the nostalgia, because that's what we were saying, and we've said it in this whole week, that this is when bowl games, you go all the way back into the 90s and the early 2000s. Your team was your team.
Yeah.
They appeared in the bowl game. There was no question.
Hey, there wasn't opt-outs and all that stuff.
And
Yeah.
all that other stuff.
Right.
The only thing you had was maybe an interim coach, because a coach was either let go or he got moved on, and that would be the biggest thing. Your team was your team when you went to those bowl games, and it was cool to see. Now it's...
And the reason we're here, with Wes Neighbors, and then of course his brother Keith as well, they both played. That they would tell you back in those days, you got these bowl allowances, like you get your maybe expense money for the bowl game that you could even try to put in your pocket by saving expenses, maybe carpooling or whatever, and then you'd get bowl swag back in those days. But you weren't getting cost of attendance, you weren't getting NIL, and so the bowl was a big deal. In other words, you got a lot of stuff.
Right. In 96,
right.
Auburn was there.
Right.
The offensive MVP in the Independence Bowl?
In 96?
Damian Craig.
Uh-oh.
Your defensive MVP? Takeo Spikes and Ricky Neal.
Nice.
So, anyway, all right, we could keep it. Eli Manning was the offensive MVP in 02. We got to go out to the phone lines. Let's go to Brandon real fast. Good morning, Brandon.
1998 Music City Bowl.
Uh-oh, that was brutal. My brother was there freezing. I don't know if Scott went to that one. That was the year before he got there.
98? No. The one that I went to, I've been to a couple of them. One of them was when Alabama lost to Minnesota.
Yeah, that was
Minnesota
brutal.
played Rocky Top at the end to kind of pour a little salt in the wounds.
We were there. My stepdad was working doing metal buildings up there, and God, it was cold. It was raining. It started freezing, and that quarterback for them, his name was Al. I don't know what his last name was, but he looked like Al Bundy out there in the 66 city championship because we got beat like 38 to 7-10, something like that in that game, I want to say.
Yeah, it was bad.
Zal fumbled. I mean, it was all – what was bad is it was all Virginia Tech in that game from start to finish.
Oh, it was.
I think it was tied for a minute, maybe right there in the second quarter or something like that. But we had a guy, and I remember my stepdad just raising hell. He's like, who is Michael Vaughn? Michael Vaughn, I'll never forget that name. He scored our only touchdown, and I don't think he had 100 yards receiving all year.
Well,
I remember that like it was yesterday.
I think it was something like 38-7. It was cold. Alabama didn't even really want to be there. And Coach Beamer had a good team. They were hungrier than Alabama was. It was played at Vanderbilt, on the campus of Vanderbilt. Yeah. I think that was the first year of the Music City Bowl, and Alabama just absolutely got smashed.
My stepdad told me, he said, they got a new bowl game, Life Insurance Bowl. And I said, okay. And we loaded up and went, and we had to go back to the hotel because we went and saw the lights at Graceland that night.
Yeah.
We had to go back. Everybody had to take a shower, put on dry clothes. It was absolutely miserable, and just being there and watching you get your butt kicked like that.
I think Virginia Tech had like a pass rusher, I think Corey Moore, and he just terrorized Alabama. It was just a joke.
I remember there was a guy named Sharon. Can't remember his last name, but he was a pretty good running back. And I remember we had Calvin Hall, and we had Zal and Freddie Millens and a couple other guys on that team. I thought that we had a pretty good team that year. But that game was a total sellout. I remember when we got there, they said, this football game is sold out. We bought tickets in the parking lot from some scalpers, and when we got up in the section, my stepdad didn't pay attention. We were scattered across, all 8 of us were scattered across about 3 rows. So we did not sit together.
Right.
And it was one of the most fun times where we had because we were pointing at each other and pointing at the field the whole time because we were so far away, you'd have to yell at each other. So that was the one of the first bowl games I ever went to there. But I think at that point in time, Alabama had beat Virginia Tech like 10 in a row, and I think that was the first time Virginia Tech had ever beat Alabama. And, buddy, you could tell it after the game was over with.
Yep.
And it's funny that they've got that history with them because Virginia Tech, Saban's first big win to start that season in 2009, was over Virginia Tech down here in Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
So that was great. I hate to say it, but I guess that day Virginia Tech cracked these nuts and made us like it. So roll Tide.
Thanks, Brandon. Let's go to Hal from Anniston real fast. Good morning, Hal.
Sir. I want to congratulate Drew on his knowledge of sport, and y'all have a very fine program.
Thank you, sir.
You raise a very interesting point regarding back-to-back national championships and A.J. McCarron.
Yes, sir.
Steve Sloan was the main quarterback in 64 and 65 when we won back-to-back national championships. Namath hurt his leg about the third game of the season at Legion Field against North Carolina State and was out most of that season. He came back and played against Georgia Tech and in the Orange Bowl against Texas. But Steve Sloan was the guy who took over the reins and silently and calmly won 2 national championships back to back.
That's right. I'm glad you pointed that out because he took over the reins and led them, and then it was the start of the next year in '65. You're right. So he'd be the other one that did it, and he didn't do it the complete season, but still he quarterbacked the team for the rest of the year. That's a great point.
And both of them did something great. McCarron is my favorite Alabama quarterback. I watched those games with him a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I saw him at Foley at a jamboree when Saban came down there to recruit Julio.
Yeah.
McCarron and his teammates were standing on the sideline watching what was going on, and he was a senior at St. Paul's Episcopal School in Mobile.
Yes, sir.
But he went on and had a remarkable career at Alabama. I hear about him. I've heard about him down there from the different people who knew him.
Mm-hmm.
I think he did a great thing. And Steve Sloan was the silent partner in the story.
Yes, sir.
I think he probably deserves more credit than he's ever gotten.
You're right about that.
Yeah, well,
appreciate the phone call.
Thanks for the phone call.
Yes, sir. Appreciate y'all's program very much.
Yeah, that's going back. That's going back into the archives there. Good catch.
Yep.
All right, let's get a break in because when we come back, we will continue the conversation, but we will talk high school basketball and get you ready some more for the Huntsville City Classic.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Got a medical call at Sparkman and Technology. Apparently a vehicle ran off the side of the road and hit a curb there. They're having trouble getting the driver out, apparently having a seizure. And we had a wreck at Sutton and Old Big Cove. Had a vehicle hit a deer there. Madison Boulevard and Glen Hearn had a stalled vehicle trying to get it cleared out of the way, and got an ongoing water rescue on Swan Creek in the Swan Creek management area. Limestone County and Morgan County involved in that one. Had a boater thrown from his boat. D&L Refrigeration repairs heating and air conditioning units for homes and businesses. D&L 256-652-1207. State license 08091. Captain Nick in the Jordan Lane Popeyes Skywatch Traffic Center.
Do you have discomfort in your legs? Varicose veins can affect not only how your legs look, but how they feel. Symptoms of varicose veins include pain, swelling, aching, heaviness, and fatigue. Dr. Tracy Lowry of Best Vein Care of Huntsville can diagnose and treat your varicose veins with the latest minimally invasive techniques. Diagnosis and treatment is covered by most insurances. Call 256-715-7151 to schedule your free screening. Go to bestveincarehuntsville.com.
Tom Abraham here for my friends at North Alabama Mortgage. Are you thinking about home improvements? Well, use your equity now and refi later. Or use your equity to eliminate consumer debt forever, then refi to a lower rate and shorter term when rates drop. North Alabama Mortgage can also help you if you're thinking about buying an investment property or a second home at the lake or the beach or in the mountains. We have great programs to make that happen. Visit NorthAlabamaMortgage.com to learn more. That's NorthAlabamaMortgage.com.
I'm with Thomas here from Talent Heating and Air. Thomas, you guys are a premier North Alabama locally owned heating and air company.
We pride ourselves in being deep in the community, helping customers with solutions that they can use to keep their house comfortable. We provide emergency services. You can reach us on our website at talenthvac.com, or you can call us at 256-503-4490.
Talent Heating and Air, let them put their talent to work for you.
AL cert number 21014.
I'm attorney Gary Lackey. If you've been injured and need a lawyer right now, and pick up the phone to call, you know, one you've seen on a billboard or on TV begging for your business, do you know who you really get?
I'm attorney Jennifer Lackey. You want to talk to your lawyer. You don't want to reach a call center, not in some office 100 miles away. With the Lackey Law Firm, that never happens. My clients talk to me.
And me. I'm attorney Justin Lackey. We're the ones that you talk to. We're the ones that you meet with.
And we're the ones who handle your personal injury case. You want to talk to me? You just call me.
And we'll take care of it. You worry about getting well. We'll take care of the rest.
The Lackey Law Firm.
And I'll go you one better. If you can't come to us, we'll come to you.
The Lackey Law Firm. The Lackey Law Family. 1-800-4RIGHTS.
No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
All right, welcome back. Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Scott Tyson, Drew DeArmond, and welcome back into the show. And once again, the countdown is on and continues towards this year's Huntsville City Classic. What number is this? Do you know offhand what number?
41st.
41st, okay. All right, 41st edition of the Huntsville City Classic, and just like the bowl games, which has been a topic of discussion, it too has changed names. It was the Huntsville Times Classic, then briefly it became the AL.com Classic,
right?
And now it is the Huntsville City Classic.
It is. And it's been around since 1983. I've been a part of it. Been attending since '88. Been a part of it since '90. Since the fall of 1990 when I was a freshman at Huntsville High. So it's a labor of love for me. I look forward to this, 3 days every year to see a lot of great basketball, a lot of great coaches, a lot of great teams. And we are going to continue our previews. We've the first couple of days we've previewed 4 squads that have never been to our tournament. Our next squad though they've been a part of it. They were not in it a year ago, but they are back, and we are certainly proud and honored to have them. Their head basketball coach was an outstanding All-SEC guard at Auburn University. Just a couple of years ago, he made a run to the 7A state championship game, came one basket away from winning it all. And ironically, the finalists that year were Enterprise and the James Clemens Jets. They played each other in the Huntsville City Classic before rematching in the state championship game. We took a lot of pride in that, and they're coming back hoping to make a run to win it yet again. They're in the top 10 in the first 7A poll. They're ranked 10th in the state of Alabama. That's the James Clemens Jets, and of course we're talking about Coach Frankie Sullivan, and he's been kind enough to join us for a few minutes on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. Coach Sullivan, it's great to have you back. You're with Drew and Scott. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir. I appreciate y'all having me back. It's been a pleasure. No, we missed out last year, so hopefully we can just come this year and give a good showing.
Yeah, absolutely. I know so far so good for your squad. Talk about your guys. You lost a lot of experience after a couple years ago when you guys made that state championship run, that remarkable run that I really enjoyed watching both at Wallace State, and then when you guys came down to Birmingham and nearly won it all. I know you guys play a certain style. It's a defensive style. You guys play hard. You play fast. But tell us how this team is kind of taking shape so far, Coach.
This year, it's been the same way. Defense is my philosophy. I know I've been an offensive guy. Like I said, when I played, I was an offensive scorer. But defense has been the big thing for me, especially in high school. So this year, it's been the same thing. Defense and making shots. We've been shooting the ball really well right now up to this point. Last night, shot it well against Fairfield. Came out with a big win at home against the number 1 team in 5A. So I think that was a good boost for our players. It's just been defense and scoring the basketball.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's still early, and it's very early in the high school basketball. And there's I know you guys play twice a week and all that stuff, but it's still early. Kind of assess your team a little bit more on where you're at right now and where you kind of want to be. It sounds weird, another week and a half when you get to the Classic.
Yeah, just take we're off all next week, no games. So just take that week to rest up and get guys in better shape. I think practice a little bit harder than we have. We already practice hard, but I just want to turn on just a little bit more, just so the guys who've never been there understand what it's like to play games back to back to back. If you have a fortunate to win games in the hustle time, so I think it's just building more mental toughness towards the end of the season. That's all I worry about, because I don't too much concern with records. I say that all the time. I'm worried about in February. Can we get the job done?
And Coach, with your squad, I know you got a big win early. On the road at Grissom, that was an overtime game, which kind of showed everybody that the Jets were here this year. I know earlier you guys, I believe, also just a few days ago played Bob Jones as well, and that rivalry is always huge. But just for our listeners, kind of talk about what's your guys' record right now, and has it was that Bob Jones game, was that your first area game?
No, we haven't played Bob Jones yet. Bob Jones, we played him in a couple of weeks.
Oh, okay, my bad. I thought I saw a score on social media the other day where you guys had played.
No, they played Griffin.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we definitely we're looking forward to it. Right now we're 10-3.
Yep, 10-3. Yep.
Every team we lost to is in either number 1 or top 2 in their rankings right now. Besides Hughtown. Hughtown's a hit and miss. They're a great team, by the way. They play a different style of basketball with Coach Brandon down there.
Yeah,
he does a great job.
He's from here. Yep, Brandon Daniels. Yep.
Yeah, so he does a different type of style you don't really see. The 1-3-1 back into trapping, because they just fly around all the time. So we took those 3 losses to Buckhorn and then Mount Brook. So I think those are 3 good losses for us. Like, you don't never want to have losses where you're going to lose to anybody, lose to the best or some of the best.
Well, Coach, talk to us about your team this year. We sat down to watch the Classic. Who's going to impress us?
Bryce Mason would impress you. Noah Gormore impress you. Sato is shooting the ball really well right now. I know you guys know about Sato. He played with Pro 1 a couple times. So, I have some guys this year that's stepping up big for us. I have a freshman I think I'm going to bring up during the Huntsville time, Lou Alexander. He's been playing well in JV right now. He doesn't have a big body on the floor, big body. So I think that he's going to do a great job for us also.
Yeah, I mean, Coach, I know, like you said, with the way this squad is kind of built, for our listeners, how many seniors do you have? How experienced a squad is it this year?
We have 5 seniors, only 1 that has playing time. We did bring in
Gotcha.
London Townsend came in over the summer, and Isaiah Cleese. Both have experience of playing.
Gotcha,
Isaiah Cleese went to the state championship game. Same thing we did a couple
Westminster.
years ago.
Yep.
So at Westminster, they did a great job. So having those 2 additions has been a big help for us. Once again, I told you I don't recruit. Those guys came for different reasons. Because I have a Coach Staple who retired. I think it's a great coach that I look up to. And then also at Athens, I think Ron just wanted to play better football when he wanted to play at a higher level in 7A. So I got a football player that likes basketball. That's always a win for me.
Yeah. No question about it. And then, and like I said, Coach, you guys are 10-3. So you have, and so you're going to start area play in January. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. We'll start out the first game is at Austin. It's not going to be an easy one.
No, they're ranked 4th in the state as well. Yep.
Yeah, 4th in the state. It doesn't get easier than Bob Jones. People are sleeping on their young team, but they're so athletic and long. And then also Florence has a new coach. I saw them play in the Bob Jones tournament. They're very disciplined. Got a great score, so it's gonna be a rough area this year. But I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, and it's going to be a very interesting first round game for you as well. Because you guys, stylistically a lot when I watch you play, you remind me of one another. But you're going to take on the Mae Jemison Jaguars at 6 o'clock, the second to last game of the opening day in the Huntsville City Classic on December 27th. I know you know Howard Pride well. His teams play hard. They're very defensive oriented. This is going to be a very interesting matchup, Coach.
Oh, no question. I'm looking forward to it. Howard's a great coach. He does a great job over there at Mae Jemison. So it'll be another test for us. Like I said, I like tests earlier, so see we are before we get down to the nitty gritty of things. So I think it's going to be a great situation playing against Mae Jemison.
Yeah, no question. And what have you liked most about your team? I know you're 13 games in, and it's amazing because really you can play 30 regular season games, counting tournaments, and so you're already almost to the halfway point. But where has your team improved the most in your mind?
Rebounding. Right now, rebounding and toughness. Like I said, I have one guy with varsity experience that plays that's from James Clinton. That played from last year. Isaiah and London, they like I said, big help for us. But the rebounding and toughness has really surprised me in the last couple of games. We were very tough and physical last night with Fairfield. Everybody knows that's their style of play.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so just for us to show that last night, showing the growth, and guys are just paying attention to being disciplined. That's the biggest thing. We're paying attention to being disciplined, playing defense. So we're continuing to grow daily, and I like that. We're taking baby steps, but we're taking steps in the right direction.
No question.
Coach, you talked about it earlier. You missed the tournament last year. Feeling a little bit relief, though, to be back in it this year?
Yes, sir. Like I said, it's always good to play in front of the kids, especially for the kids. They get the family come see them play over the holidays. Everybody's coming back home for Christmas break. So it's a great time for everybody to come in and kids to watch and play. And so it's a great thing.
Yeah, no, it really is, and like I said, he's played a very challenging schedule thus far. I mean, you've also beat a really good Muscle Shoals squad. Muscle Shoals is ranked in 6A, so you guys have definitely challenged yourselves thus far, Coach, and this will be another challenging event to get you ready for area play.
Oh, yes, sir. We definitely appreciate it.
Yes, sir. No doubt about it. Well, Coach Sullivan, we appreciate the time. Let everybody. We will let everybody know again. Once again, 6 o'clock. The James Clemens Jets and the Mae Jemison Jaguars will be taking the court. The James Clemens Jets will be trying to win this tournament for the first time in their history. Coach Sullivan, of course, as we said, already been to a Final Four and a state championship game during his 5 years. This is year 5 for him at James Clemens. He did. They went on an amazing run. It was really great to be a part of it and watch it because, again, just one basket away from potentially being a state champion. He was a state champion at RC Hatch as well. But again, Coach, we appreciate your time. We look forward to seeing your team compete, and thank you for joining us for a few minutes.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Let's get a break in. When we come back, phone lines back open to you, 256-576-4977.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Got a medical call at Sparkman and Technology that could be slowing traffic down a bit. Had a vehicle hit a deer at Sutton and Old Big Cove. They'll clear that one shortly. Stall vehicle, Madison Boulevard in Glen Hern, and a water rescue in the Swan Creek management area. They got Limestone County and Morgan County working there. They had a boater thrown from the boat. You could lose up to 4 sizes in 4 weeks with the 2030 Fast Track Weight Loss Program. Find out more at 2030huntsville.com. Captain Eck in the 72 and Jeff Popeye Skywatch Traffic Center.
The kitchen is the heart of any home. It's where the family gathers. It's where kids discover old recipes and make them their own. Just starting out or just now getting started on the dream kitchen you've always wanted?
I'm Chris Haygood, and from all of us here at Bob Wallace Appliance to the home builders and the homeowners of the Huntsville area, a heartfelt thank you for buying local. We're in Huntsville, Florence, and Coleman, and online at bobwallaceappliance.com.
These days, saving time is important, and saving money is even more so. That's where Eagle Masonry and Insulation comes in. Over the years, Eagle has expanded their services to meet the needs of folks like you in our area. If your home needs updating or you have some projects that you just haven't gotten to, Eagle can help. They install shower doors, mirrors, shelving, blinds, bath hardware, and lots more. Call Eagle Masonry and Insulation today at 256-755-1556. Eagle saves you time, and Eagle saves you money. What's better than 2 end-zone sports bars? 3 end-zone sports bars. And we have you covered with our original location on University across from Red Lobster, in Jones Valley on Cecil Ashburn near Carl T. Jones, and our newest location in the Midtown District on McMurtry Drive opposite the Target Plaza. All locations feature the NFL Sunday Ticket, Tuesday half-price burgers, and Wednesday $1 jumbo wings all day long. You're never far from the end zone. End Zone Sports Bar.
Tom Luganbill here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
This segment of Talkin' Ball is brought to you by University Kia, the #1 volume Kia dealer in the state of Alabama. Located online at universitykia.com.
There you go. Welcome back. Talking Ball 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Scat Tyson, Drew DeArmond with you on a Friday.
Tyson?
I know I said that weird, didn't I?
Yeah.
It came out
I thought,
weird.
wow, we're back in Staying Alive. Very Scat Tyson.
Scat Tyson.
Crack these nuts.
Oh.
Well, Brandon said it. I didn't until now. You know.
It's just a holiday theme, isn't it? All right. Well, anyway, okay. So the big story.
Yeah.
Besides I said at the top of the show that I did not think it was a big story with Jalen Milroe.
And we went over the Weed Eater sponsors.
And we went over all of that. This is a big story because boy, oh boy, you want to talk about setting X or Twitter ablaze.
Yeah.
This sent everyone into a firestorm yesterday, and if this is something that almost usually, when something like this happens, it usually happens at Friday at 5 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
Because that is when PR departments do this.
Oh, a news dump, yeah.
Yeah, a news dump.
Yeah.
Because you do it, because you can get it, and you're out of the office, nothing happens, bam. Alabama hires former Michigan assistant George Hilo to the staff. Now, Hilo was, if you go all the way back, he was an intern for Nick Saban. Okay?
He worked under Kirby Smart, like a GA.
So he's been on the staff, but
yeah.
The interesting nugget is he was with Michigan from 2021 and 2022, and he was replaced by the guy that is no longer there because the guy that replaced him was one of the guys that was in
Chris
the way,
Partridge.
Yep, in the investigation into an alleged improper sign stealing of the team. So Alabama hires the guy before the guy.
They do, and he was the inside linebackers coach, and supposedly they weren't happy with his recruiting, and he and Harbaugh had a parting of the ways in this past February before, right after this season when they lost to Wofford this past year, and then they lost to TCU, and so they ended up losing. And okay, we're watching. Okay, I'm sorry.
I am so sorry.
We're watching a baby steer run through, like, I don't know what.
Looks
the
like
heck.
a train
Is
track.
that a train track?
Yes.
Yeah. Somehow there's a baby steer that got loose running on a train track.
Squirrel.
And, yeah. That's what yesterday's show, we have not recovered it and posted it on SoundCloud yet. It's on a roadcaster, but we would call that show Squirrel yesterday.
Okay.
Because we had to improvise.
That was just
sorry, we got a little distracted ourselves, but that was our squirrel moment.
Back to the Hilo moment.
Yeah, but George Hilo, exactly. He worked for Coach Saban and worked under Kirby Smart. He's an Ole Miss grad. He worked at Georgia as well, and for the last 2 years before this coming season, he worked at Michigan. He resigned and parted ways with Harbaugh this past February. I researched it. I don't think he was in football this year. I don't think he coached. I think he's been around watching NFL. He's been going to see former players, stuff like that. But to me, this reeks of when Coach Saban has brought Tosh Lupoi in, he's brought Kevin Steele in and done this before. He's going to be an analyst for him, I would think. Now, I guess there is the possibility he could replace Coleman Hutzler when Hutzler takes the full-time defensive coordinator gig at Mississippi State. But this just, to me, it looks as though it's a guy that's going to be an analyst. And he just so happens, as I said, chestnut checkers, to have worked for the Cheater for the last 2 years for Harbaugh. And he's going to give them maybe an advantage to know their personnel a little bit. Now, of course, he wasn't with them this year.
No, and in 2020, he was with Maryland.
Yeah.
He was their special teams coordinator and linebackers coach at Maryland in 2020.
Now, and remember, Hutzler was also the special teams coach at Alabama, so could Hilo come in and be the special teams coach next year? That's a possibility as well. If Coach Saban but usually he doesn't do it that way. He usually doesn't have just a special teams coach. He usually has you coach a position and then special teams, and Hutzler certainly did that with outside linebackers and special teams. So possibly could Hilo do that? Yeah, but we'll see. But I still think there's a good possibility he could be an analyst for a year and then maybe be moved on to the staff. But we'll just have to see how that works out. But a shrewd hire by Coach Saban, somebody that knows Michigan very well.
Yeah, that's what everybody had.
A lot better coach than that clown.
Yeah, we'll get to that maybe if we got
Brandon
time.
Staley, you're fired. You're just an absolute abomination.
Is he one of those?
Joke.
Don't even get back on the bus. Don't even.
I would have fired him. Somebody said he should have been fired at halftime last night. But I mean, if I'm the Spanos family, his ass ain't finishing the season. I can tell you that. He's got rabbit ears anyway. He's a moron, and he's just another one of these guys that probably never should have been a head coach. That I mean, some of these jokes that they give head coaching jobs in the NFL. I mean, ugh, he's one of them.
Let's go visit with LC real fast. Good morning, LC.
Morning.
Hey, morning, guys. Early in the season, there was talk that, this may just be it for Coach Saban. He'll go on to television. Recently, there's talk of a contract. channel, for game day or whatever. But man, I was just thinking he's fixing to start practicing his team to go for his eighth national championship, a chance to beat 2 number 1 teams in a row. And I'm just thinking about what does that do for his excitement level, get his adrenaline going, as opposed to sitting on a panel like Urban Meyer and talking about the game. I'd like to hear what y'all's comments about that would be. I think he's going to have a great team next year. I think he ain't going anywhere. That's just my opinion.
Drew, when we talk about we talked about basketball coaches, and we talked about Roy Williams, Mike Krzyzewski. They all left the game because we believe that they just got tired of having to deal with the way college athletics are turning out. The transfer portal, the name, image, and likeness, and all this other stuff. Nick Saban is facing that right now, and he's having to deal with all that. It's a lot of stress. It's a lot of pressure. Do you think he enjoys that? And do you think
he's always thrived on them trying to change the rules and trying to make it more difficult for him to win just so he can prove he's better than everybody else? I've always thought that. He's always shoved it up there, what, and he's doing it again.
He's rolling, guys. He ain't going anywhere.
Heck no, he's not.
Good weekend.
Thank you, LC. I appreciate it. And there's this.
But will this grind get to him though?
No, because he's 72 and he's not going to. He's never done anything but coach. He's wired different, and that's the distinct advantage of Alabama. And that's why he was such a brilliant hire, by Robert Witt and Mal Moore. Because, again, he only knows one thing, how to grind and coach. It's what he does. It's what he's built for. He's not, Urban Meyer. He's not made of glass, where, if one thing goes wrong, he's got to go take nerve medication and take a break and then go on TV and bloviate. He's not like that. He's a much better coach than Urban ever thought about being. Okay, Urban is a Hall of Famer in his own right, but he couldn't clean Nick Saban's bathroom.
The next head coach at Alabama, Urban Meyer.
Yeah, And I'm gonna live in Siberia.
Well, you can zoom from there.
Yeah, Czar wouldn't like it.
Well, no, but I mean, you could fish.
Yeah, he would. Where's the ice fish? Did he get it? Did he get his ice fishing thing?
It's over there.
Oh man, he was here too. We should have took it downstairs.
He's probably too good for it.
We should have took it when he was downstairs yesterday. We should have took it in a room. I forgot. We just said, Czar, here is your ice fishing, fishing rod, dude.
Could you see him in a little hut on the ice?
Yes,
fishing.
Absolutely.
Drilling a hole with an auger.
He absolutely could. I could see that.
We used to ice fish.
Did you?
Yeah.
Never
nothing
done it.
better than going on a frozen lake and just sitting there for hours. I mean, you want to talk about boring.
Yeah.
Good Lord. You'd
have to have a heated seat.
The ice would melt.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Take the guesswork out of your holiday gifts. OmahaSteaks.com for 50% off site-wide and save an additional $30 with promo code VSIN. OmahaSteaks.com.
Top 25 hoops last night. Number 7 Marquette beat St. Thomas of Minnesota 84-79. The Golden Eagles are 9-2, 6-0 at home, and were favored by 23.5 heading in. Number 23 Wisconsin 75-60 over Jacksonville State. Wisconsin was a 19.5-point favorite. Exciting matchup tonight is number 5 UConn battles number 10 Gonzaga. The Bulldogs are 8-2. UConn 9-1. Connecticut's a 4.5-point favorite. Gonzaga plus 195 on the money line. Tomorrow, number 1 Arizona battles number 3 Purdue. No official line, but the computer predicted line has the Wildcats by 2.5. Get the latest lines and more at vsin.com.
WCZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Welcome to Talkin' Ball with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline now, 256-576-4977. That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Scott and Drew.
All right, welcome back. Talking Ball 97.7 ESPN is on. There's that bull again. There's that steer running down the train tracks. Now it's on ESPN. It's made its way there.
It looks bigger now, though. Did it grow?
It didn't grow, but I don't know how a longhorn steer made it onto a train track.
In what city?
I don't know. Still trying to figure that one out. To close hour one, we were talking about being on the ice and just boring ice fishing, sitting there for hours in the middle of dumbass winter on the ice trying to ice fish.
You're the one that said you'd ice fished. I've never ice fished.
I have, and I'm just letting you know it's boring as hell. Anyway,
it's not boring to buy Corralejo's Mexican Grill, though.
No,
I think that just went on the zone deal.
But what is not boring is our next guest.
No, never.
No, he is not boring.
And he's in a much better mood now because they eviscerated two teams on the road last week.
Well, I don't say
laying in the weeds.
In the second one because he's going to tell you.
But they won.
They won. That's it. Yes, they won, not eviscerated. Yeah. But anyway.
And they beat Hated Lee.
They did beat Hated Lee, yes.
Yes, very impressive.
Disliked Lee.
Well, okay. I can say hated. He can say disliked. I'm not trying to give him hot water here, even though he probably thinks I am. And, of course, Scott, we have a great sponsor that's helping us make this possible.
Yeah, we do, but Bailey's telling us the steer is in New Jersey.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
A longhorn steer in New Jersey. Yes, Sports Med Orthopedic Surgery and Spine Center, the official training providers. If you get rear-ended by a steer, you can visit them and their Saturday Sports Clinic. Anyway, let's go on to
I can tell you this. It looks like the Chargers got hit by a steer last night, but our next guest certainly did not. They are off a 2-0 road swing in the Gulf South Conference. They are now 4-1 in the GSC, 6-3 overall. It's the UAH Chargers and his coach, John Shulman. Coach, I'm sorry that was a little bit of a train wreck there, but good morning.
Yeah, y'all been drinking? Is that legal to be drinking on the job?
Sounds like it.
Yeah, it does.
It's a Friday show.
We're watching a steer in New Jersey right down a railroad track.
Tracks. I mean, it's
train track. Yeah.
I think we had a good week. I don't know. I'm about want to go fishing and looking for steer, and I'm just a pretty simple guy, just trying to win a basketball game.
Well, Coach, what was the key? Your tone last week, I kind of felt like you were confident going to lead. You felt like your team was locked in. Yeah, and I wasn't there too, so that helped.
Yeah,
I was banned. But
the key is you staying away. That's
right,
the whole key to the program. We had a really listen. I'm a true believer, except in the football program at Alabama. I'm a true believer that people learn more after a loss than you do after a win.
Right.
The special ones. And I've tried to be special my whole life. I just can't do it. The special ones can get better after a win. After a loss, it stings. Film sessions are different. Practices are different. It's just human nature. And all you're doing in sports is trying to fight human nature. And it's hard. And same thing in life. You're just trying to fight human nature. You get confident and you get comfortable. And then when you get too comfortable, you get complacent, and then as I talked to General Valesky, then a catastrophe is about to happen. And so you're just trying not to get comfortable and stay confident. And we were confident going up to Lee. Listen, we're battle tested. I know we're only now we're 9 games into the season, but we're battle tested. We've played some of the best in the country, and when you do that, I think it just speeds up your maturation rate on where you are and who you are. So we have a very realistic view of who we are. We're not great on the glass, and we out-rebounded Lee by 11. So that's just kind of want to and a mindset. They scored 25 points in the first 8 minutes of the game and scored 48 in the next 32 minutes of the game. So we can guard if the mindset is correct. But it was a great win. Whether you want to say we dislike Lee or hate Lee, that's up to y'all. But it's a great rivalry for us, and that was a great win for us. Lee turned around and beat West Alabama 20 on Sunday. Mm-hmm. And so you're not talking about a bad basketball team up there. We go up there and we win at their, in college basketball, not college football, But in college basketball, winning on the road is by far the toughest, most difficult thing for any basketball program. I don't know why. You can look at this and look at that, but winning on the road in college basketball, a conference game, is very, very difficult. We are 4-0 on the road for this year, and that tells me that there is something to this team, because it's a lot easier to win at home. We play with a little too much pressure at home, and we got to get through that. But I'm proud of our guys to be 4-1 in the league. I'm proud of them to be 6-3 after the schedule that we played, and now we just got to continue to get better. We've had a really good week of practice. We've held something over their head. We are little. I mean, we're okay defensively because we've played some zone. If we played all man, it would be a disaster. And so we've made sure that they understand we are way better than that. We lost Chaney and Max and CJ. None of those three are unbelievable defenders. So what's the problem? It's not that they don't know what's going on. They just haven't been very good at doing it. So we've had a really good week of practice, but we have a really talented Delta State team coming in tonight.
Yeah, Coach, and you continue to learn about your team as well. As impressive as the win was against Lee, there was that is a tough game. It's a game that requires every bit of mental toughness, strength, and everything. And then you have to follow that up with a road game at Shorter, which can be overlooked. The crowd is not as lively. The atmosphere is not the same. And you continue to learn about your team because it's a different set of circumstances that they had to perform in.
Yeah, for us to be ready after an emotional win Friday night and going to Rome, Georgia on Sunday afternoon, the only guy who was in a good mood was you because you ate some good steak or something. The rest of us were eating Bojangles biscuits. But it's hard. It would be, once again, like I said, fighting human nature to be juiced up and ready to roll. And there's certain games on your schedule that, are kind of trap games. And we didn't allow that. We were down 10 or 11, 12 early, but we didn't allow that to be a trap game. At the end of the year, it's a W right beside that game, and that's what we had to have. We found a way. When you play multiple defenses like we do, something hopefully will stick. If something doesn't stick, then you're probably not going to win that game. And we had to play a little bit in the full court and got us back in it by pressing, and got back in it and played a bunch of zone in the second half and made enough shots. I don't know when the last time we've made 5 threes on the road, made 5 threes and won a basketball game. And so, we must be doing something right defensively and something right on the glass. We just got to continue to get better because when you listen, when I was at Chattanooga, we beat Belmont at Belmont and we went 1 for 19 from the 3-point line. That was just normal, at that time. We no one shot it great from 3, and if you didn't guard, you didn't have a chance to win. And I truly believe that same thing. If we will guard, we'll have a great chance to have success. But it's all about defending and rebounding. And we've brought all these guys in to be great offensive players. And so how smart are we? But the key, I think, and especially in college basketball, is recruit offensively and coach defensively. And so because if you bring in defensive stoppers, you can't make those guys better offensively. It's just impossible. So you bring in offensive guys who are gifted offensively, and then you figure out ways to guard defensively. And so far, so good.
Coach, I mean, you can't shoot the ball much better than Daniel Saylor and Jack Costle did in the 2 games, 25 of 31 combined from the floor.
Well, when you're shooting 2-footers, it gives you a better chance. And
Saylor was tremendous. Yeah.
I'm not trying to be funny there. When I became a head coach in 2004,
right,
it was all good and well and good to sit over there as an assistant and say, jack them up. We need to be shooting threes. Jack them up. Jack them up. It wasn't my name on the line. When you scoot over that chair in that seat, what do you want to do? Do you want to shoot 58 threes, or do you want to get that thing inside and have a chance to get fouled? And I've seen how athletic you are, Drew. I take my chances
Yeah.
2 feet instead of 22 feet.
I think that'd be wise.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a big believer. That's why I was really concerned losing Chaney. It's funny, losing Chaney. If we got in a jam last year, we threw that ball inside to Chaney, and he took us home. Well, how are we going to do that this year? Well, Costal and Tommy Murr have done it, and Luke Burnett have done an amazing job of getting to the rim off the bounce. And we throw it into Sailor, and that's where he's really good. But we've been really good this year, probably better than any of my 4 years here, 5 now, is getting to the basket off the bounce. We haven't been able to do that, and this year we have. And I tell you why. It's easy, Coastal putting that thing on the floor. Well, when you got 4 guys who can shoot 40% from the three-point line spaced out around them, what are you going to do? Are you going to help or you're not going to help? If you help, we're going to pitch and shoot it. If you don't help, we're going to have the ability to get to the basket. It just makes it easier. Everybody kind of has helped each other be a better player this year.
And then, Coach, you said Delta State's a difficult matchup. I know correct me if I'm wrong, I think they still run the Princeton offense. Talk about the matchup and being able to bring them in tonight.
Well, they have some guy named Malik Cartwright back for his 200th year of eligibility.
Lord, he's still playing?
Yeah.
What's interesting is I think Cartwright literally is one of the top players in our league and has been. He's their 3rd leading scorer.
Uh-oh.
Yes. And I appreciate your uh-oh. I tell you what's going on is all these Division I's, are looking at the transfer portal. The portal didn't used to be a thing.
Yes,
so
sir.
if you needed instant help, you had to have instant help, you went to the junior college ranks, or you went to a top 100 player in the country. Well, now no one's doing that, and everybody's going to the portal. After the portal, everybody's going to high school because there's no reason to go to the junior college ranks because they're the same guys that you can get out of the portal, and they've played at a 4-year school. So the junior college ranks are really getting more forgotten about than the high school ranks. And so what Delta State did is they went and got 2 elite guards from Mississippi junior colleges, and they are as talented as anybody in our league. And these 2 guards are phenomenal. One of them's averaging 20, the other one's averaging 19, and then you got Cartwright, who I think is one of the top players in our league, is their 3rd leading scorer. Kellen Dietrich, a kid that's made 8 threes against us, is their 6th leading scorer. So they're as talented as to me, they're probably the most talented team in the GSC. And they're 5-1 in the league, and they're 7-2 overall, and they're coached by a Hall of Famer, knee neighbor, and they're coming in with a lot of confidence. And it's going to be a battle. And hopefully Huntsville plays tonight. Is that correct, Drew?
Yes, sir.
All right. So there's no shot of you being in here, and take some time on Sunday, Drew, to be with family and just do church till about 6 o'clock that night, so you can stay out of here till just watch it on Flow or listen to Steve and Scott, please. But we have a huge weekend. Mississippi College is 4-2 in the league. Delta State's 5-1 in the league. This is a huge weekend as we head into Christmas break.
Wow. Yeah, it really is. It's a big one because you can take a huge jump in the GSC standings, and you're at home. Great crowds, great support always, Coach, and certainly it's going to be a huge challenge with Delta coming in tonight. But as you said, you've had a good week of practice, and winning breeds confidence, and you guys went on the road and won. Now you've got, the stable has been a tough place for people to play, and I know that the guys are looking forward to getting back there.
Yeah, I think we were. I think we're like 53-6 or something like that the last 4 years. But just to be honest, we're 2-2 in here this year, and we've gotten beat by 2 really good people in here. But we gotta, I don't know if we put a little bit too much pressure on ourselves. We gotta go out and have fun. We got to go out and we got to go for it. We got to go for it. We got to 10-cup it. Isn't that right, Scott? We got to 10-cup it.
That's right.
And we watched that movie the other day. We're 250 out. Are you going to lay up or are you going to go for it?
Got to go for it.
In Spraggins, we've been laying up, and we've been scared to fail. So if we're going to fail greatly now, and we're going to go for it and see what happens, and we're going to have fun doing it. And I'm proud of our kids because it was a tough week. Now you get beat by West Al at home. We don't get beat at home often. You get beat at West Al at home. It was a tough week, and they responded in a great way. And we tried to make this week a tough week too, because being uncommon, you can learn after a win just like you can learn after a loss, and you got to have that same edge.
If you think you stink.
If you think you stink, there you go. That's from a guy named John Kokorian, who's a head coach at Christopher Newport, who won a national championship D3 last year, and good buddy of mine. And very simple, if you think you stink. And so you just got to go out and play and have fun and go for it. And that's what we have to do this weekend. And then we'll be off for about a week and a half, doing a lot of recruiting. Got camp Monday and Tuesday, little Christmas camp, and then going to recruiting and trying to get a little rest before we get in that stretch run January and February.
And never say I didn't try. I haven't tried to at least be a positive influence coach. 2 words: Jordan Johnson. If you have room on your roster, very good player.
Well, where do you think we're going tomorrow?
There you go.
There you go.
That's a good one right there.
Yeah. He'll be at the Huntsville.
We may hire Drew. Drew's elite. Hey, I ain't gonna lie to you, Drew. You are really good at what you do. You're like the flipping Rain Man of sports. I ain't gonna lie to you. You know everything about everything, and you've done a really good job. And we do appreciate it. We don't want you here at UAH going to the game because you're bad luck slap rock, all right? But you are really good at what you do, and we appreciate y'all.
A remote source is what they need.
Yes.
There you go.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you, Coach. Good luck this on Friday and Sunday to get a couple of dubs.
All right, appreciate you guys.
Coach John Shulman with UAH Chargers.
Mess with the bull, get the horns over in New Jersey down the friggin' NIM track.
It's you. Mess with the bull, you get the horns. Isn't that Bull Durham?
I don't know.
Didn't they have they had a steer out there in right field if you hit it?
Yeah,
didn't
he tipped him off. He hit the ball over the steer. He's like, you told him, didn't you? He's like, absolutely, because you shook me off, you clown.
Let's get a break.
You shook me off, meat.
What should we get for a wedding gift? Candle holders.
Candle holders is always good.
256.
Great Robert Wool.
576-4977. Arliss, baby.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
They're still trying to figure out that accident at Sparkman and Technology. Apparently started as a medical problem, but it sounds like one of UAH's police cars may have gotten hit in that. So they're trying to get that all untangled. Everything else looks good this morning. I don't see any other snags for you. You be careful on the rest of your trip in. It looks like we are going to have a significant amount of folks in last-minute dash mode. From routine care to heart failure, Dr. Randall Burns and the team at Huntsville Heart Specialists on Bob Wallace Avenue have the expertise to care for all matters of the heart. Captain Nick in the Jordan Lane Popeye Skywatch Traffic Center.
With us today, Dr. Tracy Lowry of Best Vein Care of Huntsville.
When we evaluate a patient and they indeed have significant venous disease, most third-party payers, private insurance, Medicare, require us to treat every patient conservatively at least 90 days. Conservative treatment includes increasing ambulation, elevation of the legs, and the wearing of compression stockings. It's very common for folks to come see us in March or April wanting to have their veins fixed before they go into swimsuits starting in June. When we see someone in March or April, they're going to require at least 90 days of conservative treatment before we can even go to the insurance carrier to get permission to treat their veins. So if you think you have a venous problem, now is the time to come in and get a free screening so we can determine whether or not you need something evaluated. If you have a vein problem or you think you may have a vein problem, now's the time to contact us at bestveincarehuntsville.com.
Hey there, Bob Baumhauer here. Score big deals at Baumhauer's this football season and order from our Inflation Bites menu. Try our Buffalo Wing Special with fries and a complimentary beverage for only $9.99. And what's football without a cold beer? Our pitchers of Yingling and Yingling Flight are only $7.99, served all day, 7 days a week. And huddle up, football fans. Sign up today for our free NFL Pick'em contest at Baumhauers.com for weekly prizes. Baumhauers, legendary fun and legendary food.
Football season and Bad Daddy's Burger Bar. The perfect combination of good times and great food. This season, score big with one of our chef-inspired expressions of pure burger amazingness. Our delicious burgers are made with premium Angus beef, and you can pair it with one of our signature cocktails or a cold craft beer from our huge selection. Bad Daddy's Burger Bar on the Parkway in Huntsville and our new location at Cliff Farm, Highway 72 in Madison. The new favorite place for delicious Mexican food is Coralejos Mexican Grill in Huntsville. Check out their reviews on Facebook and you'll see what people are raving about. Enjoy drink specials all day Monday through Thursday, like house margaritas for $3.99 and 12-ounce drafts for $2. Even vegan-friendly entrees on Monday starting at $5. Coralejos Mexican Grill, 1658 Old Monrovia Road in Huntsville. Follow them on Facebook and Instagram to stay updated on their specials.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penny Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penny perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penny Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penny Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPennyToyota.com. Bill Penny's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details. Oh, welcome back. Talking Ball 97.7 ESPN The Zone. You ask, you receive on this show.
Here we go.
Everybody into the shower! Anybody in the shower in 10 seconds gonna get fined $100! Larry!
1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, 4 Mississippi,
Get in
5
there.
Mississippi,
Hurry it up.
6 Mississippi, 7 Mississippi, 8 Mississippi, 9 Mississippi, 10 Mississippi.
You guys, you lollygag the ball around the infield. You lollygag your way down to first. You lollygag in and out of the dugout. Do you know what that makes you, Larry?
Lollygaggers.
Lollygaggers. What's our record, Larry?
8 and 16.
8
and 16. How did we ever win it?
How'd we ever win it?
This is so good. This goes to John Shulman right here.
Yeah.
You throw the ball. You hit the ball. You catch the ball. You got it?
Oh, man.
Classic.
Bull Durham. All because we saw a steer run through the train tracks in New Jersey.
Boy, that was a shot.
That prompted us to Bull Durham.
Exactly. He's like, he hit the bull. You told him, didn't you? Yep.
Yeah.
He goes, here comes the deuce. When you speak of me, speak well. And he hits it over the bull.
So, going back to our bowl conversation in hour number 1.
Right.
Did not realize this, that in 1937 there was the Bacardi Bowl in Havana, Cuba.
Did you have a passport? You hadn't have a passport.
But that was pre-Castro.
Oh, it wasn't.
Pre-Castro.
It wasn't communist regiment.
But you know who played their first bowl game? Their first ever bowl game in Havana, Cuba, in the Bacardi Bowl?
The current address of Cheney Johnson?
The Auburn Tigers. The Auburn Tigers' first bowl game was in pre-Castro Cuba on New Year's 1937.
Wow.
A 7-7 tie with Villanova.
Mm.
The Bacardi Bowl is the accepted name, but the game also went by the Rumba Bowl or Cigar Bowl.
Oh, well, of course, Cuban cigars. Why not? They probably all got one.
Yeah. And the Blue Bonnet Bowl, you kind of mentioned that one.
The Astro Blue Bonnet Bowl. Sorry, yeah.
Yeah, it was the Blue Bonnet Bowl.
Shout out to Clint Legg.
And the reason why it was the Astro Blue Bonnet Bowl was because it was played in the Astrodome.
Yeah, he was playing in Houston.
The first place that had the AstroTurf. Hence AstroTurf. That's where it was created for, was the Astrodome and in Houston. But that was 1959 to 1987 was the Blue Bonnet Bowl. We lost that one in 1987. We lost the Bluegrass Bowl in 1958. That was only 1 year. That was played in Louisville, Kentucky at the Fairgrounds Stadium, which has been torn down. Freedom Bowl from 84 to 94. We've lost that one. We lost the Gotham Bowl, which was
Gotham Bowl.
1961 and 1962. That was played in Yankee Stadium for 2 years.
But now they've got the Pinstripe Bowl.
Yeah,
though,
so
right?
they've brought a reminiscence of that back of it. 1947, you could have went to the Great Lakes Bowl in Cleveland, Ohio.
Mistake by the lake.
Yeah. Going some other ones. You had the Salad Bowl in Phoenix. From 47
Wonder what
to
you
51.
ate there.
Yeah. In 2000 to 2004, the Silicon Valley Classic Bowl in San Jose, California. All right, there you go. Some old bowl games that we have thrown out there that have no longer in the past. All right, so we mentioned Jalen Milroe returning to Alabama, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, believe it or not, this is just getting weird. Yesterday, Carson Beck posted a picture of himself in a Georgia uniform at the goal line, looking down deep in thought. Now, there's 3 ways you can read this. Carson Beck is near the finish line of a decision on whether or not he wants to head to the NFL or come back to Georgia. Or I guess there's only 2 ways. Number 2, he is having fun with fan bases and just playing this up a little bit and knows all along what's going to happen and that he is going to stay at Georgia. Carson Beck has not made up his mind. He is practicing with Georgia as they get ready for the Orange Bowl, but he has not made up his mind. Now, the last pick in the first round of the NFL draft this year got a $6.2 million signing bonus. The last pick of the second round is due to get $1.5 million. That is more in line with the Georgia collective, if you want to think $1.5 million to keep him at Georgia. The 6.2 is not.
I've heard something crazy like he wants $4 million to come back. They're trying to renegotiate his NIL. I tell him to jump in the lake. I mean, you don't deserve $4 million. Give me a break. If some sponsors want to pay that, but Georgia, again, and these collectives are separate from the schools, but
right.
It's actually Georgia boosters. But $4 million, can't you go out there and I'm sure some local businesses would love to sign you up. I mean, I was watching Caitlin Clark last night talking about Gatorade.
Yeah, that's an interesting one there because Iowa is a Powerade school, so she has to drink Gatorade in a special cup now on the sidelines because the rest of her teammates are drinking Powerade. But anyway, Mel Kiper says Carson Beck is the 7th quarterback in the upcoming NFL draft.
Just like him and Milroe both need more time. This is total hooey, man.
But Georgia did lose somebody though in the transfer portal.
Yeah, he spent the last part of the season hurt as well.
The defensive lineman?
No, it's an inside linebacker.
Or inside linebacker. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. He ended up going into the transfer portal yesterday, and it was a little bit surprising because he was a preseason All-American. He didn't finish the year on the field, and I know a lot of people thought that he might end up leaving early for the NFL, but again, because he got injured, I think it kind of hurt his stock a little bit, but he did, end up going into the portal. Now, we don't know, what his landing spot's going to be right now, but we'll see. But certainly Jamon Dumas-Johnson is in the portal. He'll be last year, Trez Marshall went in the portal, and we didn't know until he announced it that he was going to Alabama that he was even on campus at Alabama. So I don't know where Dumas-Johnson will end up, but it's certainly his stats were impressive in the 3 years he was, or excuse me, I guess his time at Georgia. He had 126 tackles, 9.5 sacks, 17 tackles for loss. So he was a preseason All-American again. Because of injury, didn't live up to that, but who knows? I mean, he should be a guy that, since he's not going to turn professional, that should attract a lot of interest. I think Alabama could be in the mix for a linebacker, an inside backer. I think they're more looking at edge guys, but do I expect him at Alabama? Probably not. But again, he's a guy that could end up, along with Malik Murphy. We talked about him yesterday from Texas. He may be the most sought-after quarterback because of what he did in the place of Quinn Ewers. I would look for him to garner a lot of interest. And then Ole Miss has been ultra aggressive. They got Princely Maline. Whatever, how the hell you pronounce his last name. But I'd have to ask Mark McLeod, who covered him every day at Florida, but I've tried to get the last name down. But Princely U, as I call him, he's transferring to Ole Miss to finish his career in the SEC for Lane Kiffin. That was announced yesterday. And then Auburn did have their first opt-out that I've seen, but, second. I guess Marcus Harris as well. Marcus Harris has declared for the NFL draft. I don't think he's going to play in the Music City Bowl. DJ James, the Oregon transfer who's played the last 2 years at corner, is also opting out to train for the draft.
All right, let's get a break in. When we come back, we're going to switch it back to high school basketball. Howard Pride going to join us.
That's right.
Yeah, he's back with May Jemison, and he's back in the City Classic.
Only guy to ever win the Classic as a player and coach.
Ah, that's right. That's right. Howard Pride, you're going to come up next.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Got a wreck on the Parkway northbound. This one's going to be just north of Useless. It is coming in as an injury time. Had a stall vehicle, Madison Boulevard in Glen Hern. It should be taken care of by now. And I haven't heard an update on that water rescue at the Swan Creek Management area. They had Limestone County and Morgan County involved in that one. Had a boater thrown from a boat. You get 2 pieces of hand-breaded, juicy, tender signature chicken, buttermilk biscuit for $4.99 at Popeyes. University and Jordan. 72 in Jeff and North Parkway. Captain Nick in the Popeyes Skywatch Traffic Center.
Do you have discomfort in your legs? Varicose veins can affect not only how your legs look, but how they feel. Symptoms of varicose veins include pain, swelling, aching, heaviness, and fatigue. Dr. Tracy Lowry of Best Vein Care of Huntsville can diagnose and treat your varicose veins with the latest minimally invasive techniques. Diagnosis and treatment is covered by most insurances. Call 256-715-7151 to schedule your free screening. Go to bestveincarehuntsville.com.
Work injuries happen in Alabama all the time, whether it's an accident at work, getting injured, lifting heavy objects, hurting your hands on a machine, or just performing the same movement over and over until your body breaks down. But when it happens, there's only one law firm to call in Alabama. That's Pond Lehocky Giordano. For personalized legal support, reach out to Pond Lehocky at 855-774-3838 or pondlehocky.com.
The representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers. The End Zone Sports Bar has done it again. This time, they're bringing their jumbo wings, handcrafted burgers, Tex-Mex, and New York-style pizza to the Midtown District with their new location on McMurtry Drive Northwest opposite the Target Plaza. Tuesdays at the End Zone means half-price burgers, and Wednesday is $1 jumbo wings all day long. The End Zone also features Sunday ticket for all your NFL viewing. The newest End Zone Sports Bar in the Midtown District on McMurtry near the Target Plaza. Get in the End Zone.
Sitting here with Mark Kent of Southern Fidelity Mortgage Group of Huntsville. Mark, do you help pre-qualify people?
We pre-qualify people all the time, Wes. As a matter of fact, I love having them coming in here because when they come in and they pre-qualify, they can leave my office knowing exactly how much they can buy and have no worries.
Mark, tell me about your rates and pricing.
Well, Wes, this is something we're really, really proud of. Long story short is, I love being able to provide the best pricing in town. Honestly, I cannot tell you the last time I lost a deal to either rate or pricing, something I'm very proud of.
So what all financing options do you have, Mark?
We do several different things. If you're purchasing a home, we can handle the purchase. If you're wanting to refinance your home, of course, rates are at the lowest they've been in the last 3 years. We do a lot of refinancing. If you're building a home, we can handle the entire process from breaking ground to the final close.
Do you sleep with your phone?
Wes, if you want to reach me, you can call me at my office phone, which is 256-562-1000. But always remember, I sleep with my cell phone at night. That number is 256-656-5936.
If you're the kind of value shopper who waits until the end of the year because you know that's when the best deals are, it's here. And there's no first payment for 90 days. Hi, folks. Bobby White back again for Woody Anderson Ford's Make the Holiday Bright sales event. And we've got the best selection of new and certified pre-owned Fords we've had in years. Right now, get financing as low as 2.9% for up to 72 months on 23 F-150. America's best-selling truck for 47 years. 2.9 for 72 on F-150. And Woody Anderson Ford has over 100 F-150s to choose from. Great finance rates and no first payment for 90 days. We have financing as low as 0% for up to 60 months on 23 Explorer, Escape, and with Bronco Sport, you get an additional $1,500 bonus cash. Year end is the best time of year to buy, plus no payments for 90 days. With your good credit through Ford Motor Credit, this offer ends December 30th. Come make your holidays bright at Woody Anderson Ford. We hope to see you soon.
All right, welcome back. Talking Ball 97.7 ESPN, The Zone. Scott Tyson, Drew DeArmond. Welcome back to the show. And as we teased before we paid the bills, we said that there is an individual that has won the Huntsville City Classic or the Huntsville Times Classic at that time as a player, and then has managed to win the Huntsville City Classic as a coach.
Twice.
He's done it twice.
Back-to-back years in his first tenure with the May Jemison Jaguars, and he's back for his second tour with them. We're honored to have him back in the city. We always enjoy catching up with him. He's a member of the Madison County Athletic Hall of Fame, one of the greatest athletes in city history here in our great community. In Madison County history, we're talking about a guy that was all city in football as a wide receiver, someone that was a 4-year starter for Jack Doss at Butler High School. We know he went on to have an outstanding career for the Vanderbilt Commodores, and he's been in the coaching profession really since his finishing his collegiate playing days, and he certainly has done an outstanding job as a coach both in the states of Alabama, the states of Tennessee, and on the college level. Don't forget, he spent many years as a college assistant coach. We're glad he's back influencing young people here at May Jemison High School. It's the May Jemison Jaguars head coach, and it's Howard Pride, and he's with us for a few minutes on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. Coach, you're with Drew and Scott. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, guys, and always a pleasure. I really appreciate the opportunity to come on to talk ball. I think that you guys do a phenomenal job. Big fans of what you have going on, and you make everybody feel special, relevant, and present. So thank you so much for all you do.
Well, Coach, we're big fans of yours as well, and we're glad you're back in this area, and we're glad you're back in the Huntsville City Classic. Now, when you brought your May Jemison team back the last time, a little bit more of an experienced group. Now you're trying to rebuild it and kind of get it going in the right direction.
Yes, well, the rebuild is evident. It's real. As we well know, when I was here before, my job was easy. I had really good players, and anybody can tell you don't make it in this business without really good players. I had the pleasure of coaching a young man like Tony. But we had great young men to complement Nate Jones, Donovan Jones, Ted Lewis, DeMarcus Thompson. I mean, the list goes on. And so they made me a better coach than I actually am.
Well, and Coach, and I know you told us last year when you came on with us that you knew this was going to be a rebuild and a reboot, and you had took on the challenge after being at Stewart's Creek and You talked about, and you certainly foreshadowed it for us for the rest of that year, how good a player Brandon Miller was going to be at the University of Alabama and how he elevated that program. How do you get Mae Jemison back to where you had it in your first go-round, where you guys were number one in the state? You won the N2 Hoops and the Huntsville City Classic in the same year. Certainly had a great basketball team. Tony led that squad. But how do you get that program, this program you're back stewarding back to that level in your mind?
Just through patience and hard work. We have some good young players, but everything is cycles. Everything runs in cycles. And right now, we are getting ready. We boarded the plane as athletes, as coaches. We kind of dug in, went in the trenches. And last year, it was just setting the culture, reestablishing norms, and getting guys to understand the importance of hard work. You don't just walk into a Mae Jemison gym and have the ghost of John Petty and Tony and those guys and think that people are not going to give you their A game. And so these guys understand that now. And so we're pups scratching the surface right now. We're just trying to find our way, but I think I got the right kids in the program now, and so we're in the infant stage, but I'm excited about the group that I have to work with.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we'll talk about the group a little bit more when we go to watch the Classic and everybody piles in on day one and they watch Mae Jemison play. Who's going to kind of catch their eye a little bit?
Well, I think people are starting to take notice of Dakarian Bryant, 6'5", wing guy. He has all the makings and all the tools. Got to get him a little stronger. Kid that really will tease you with some of the things that he can do. Just trying to get him to be more consistent with that. We have Jalen Glover, who started at Columbia, transferred over. He's a junior. And a young man that played really well on the football field, Power 5 guy by the name of Hezekiah Harris. That on the inside, commanding presence on the inside. He's just a sophomore. I have a sophomore point guard in Caleb Martin. I have a sniper off the bench, a senior, Jay Horton, and Prince Williams Jr. is a senior as well, that provides some energy, some defense, and some toughness. We're slowly starting to mold, and we just got those football guys back, along with Courtney Hudson. So we're excited about these next week and a half, this next 2 weeks of playing good competition. As always, I say, in order for us to know who we truly are, you've got to go and measure yourself against some of the best. And we've had a tough schedule to start, and we're going to play really good programs and really good teams. And that's what our league is so good, that you have to understand that every night it's a fight, and these guys are starting to understand that.
Yeah, and it's and as we know, you know how to prepare a team, and you're going through the Huntsville City Classic, playing the schedule you've played thus far. You're getting yourself ready for area play, which is going to be one of the toughest in the state.
Oh, without a doubt, we're right now. We're 0-2 in the area. Hazel Green, Jeremy Crutcher does a great job. Mm-hmm. Greg Brown, two-time defending state. Won back-to-back state championships a couple of years ago, and then you have the reigning state champion with Buckhorn and Pat Martin to do a great job. I told somebody before the season started, we won 7 games last year. We can win 10 to 15 this year, and I will feel like it's a phenomenal season. And because you can't always measure success by wins and losses and still finish 4th in this league.
Yeah, 6A area 16, so tough. As you said, you're trying to prepare your team, but you've already started area play. I know that there's some squads, and I know some of the 7A area 7 has already started with Albertville and Grissom and Sparman. Huntsville has not started area play, but you guys have. It's tough to be 0-2, but still, you learn a lot about your squad. And then when you're facing a gauntlet like the Huntsville City Classic, there's still a lot of basketball left to be played, Coach. And a lot of times, I've seen teams do this. They transform themselves. I thought Buckhorn did last year. Buckhorn did not win the Huntsville City Classic, but by the end of the season, the schedule and the gauntlet helped them, and then they got hot when it counted the most in regionals, and then went on to win state.
Well, that's the goal. And when I tell you that we've just boarded the plane this December stretch, we want to be we want our takeoff to happen during the month of January and get hot at the right time. And we use Buckhorn as an example. They got hot at the right time, and with the group that we have, we want to experience some of that. And so, having already played great competition, this tournament is phenomenal. Frankie Sullivan's doing a heck of a job with James Clemens. We got those guys first. One thing I love about this is with the Interhoops, with the Huntsville Classic, if you win, you know you have accomplished something because of all the great coaches, all the great athletes, and just the history of playing in this tournament. I mean, a lot of people, a lot of great teams and great players have played in this thing, and they've never won it before.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very true.
Howard Pride, head coach, Mae Jemison Jaguars, joining us on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. Coach, take away winning the tournament as a player and as a coach. We love strolling back down memory lane. Greatest memory, or not a greatest memory, but just a memory from playing in the tournament that kind of comes to mind, a battle on the hardwood or something from the back in the day.
Well, I can honestly say it was my freshman year. I didn't know how big and what the magnitude of that tournament really was. And Coach Doss, he got on to me for making a poor decision out there on the floor. And, you know, he gets intense. And
yeah,
he just looked at me, and his face was red. And I think I kind of ticked him off because he looked at me and he was red. And so it's just smile, look at me in the eye, and say, yes, sir. And all of a sudden, it was like, why am I upset at you? I know you're going to go out there and correct it. Went out there and made a big play. I think that year Pepsi was sponsoring the Play of the Year. I combined with Tony McGinnis, and the very next play, we made the Play of the Year. So I tell kids all the time, when coaches get on you, it's because they care, don't take it personal. And at that moment, I could have shrunk, but instead I smiled, I shrugged it off, and I went out there and I made a play that was part of the Play of the Year. So that to me, that defined my a big moment during my freshman year. And I think toward the end of that freshman year, Coach Doss got on to me. We were playing in the area, in a sub-region against Arab. They were 1 or 2 in the state, and he hadn't played me the whole game. Put me in the game the last 30 seconds. I think I ended up going 4 for 4 from the free throw line, and the trust and the love fest was there again. So, I mean, it always harkens back to my freshman year at Butler High School that made me the player that I am, that I eventually became. The trust that he had in me in big moments, and that's why we have a special relationship. And I thank him for giving me that opportunity to just be on the floor and experience the Huntsville Times Classic. So for those young men that have never played in this thing, it's going to be pressure like no other. I challenge them to embrace it, to enjoy it, and look forward to the challenge.
No question about it. We certainly look forward to it. We look forward to you bringing your team back. And, again, you've won it more times than anybody, really any participant, because you're the only one to win it as a player and a coach. You've done an outstanding job in the tournament in keeping the flame going. We're so glad to have you back. We hope you're here for many years now, but we look forward to seeing the Mae Jemison Jaguars take the floor against the James Clemens Jets. It's going to be a very good game at 6 o'clock. 2 athletic teams getting up and down. Dakarian Bryant, worth the price of admission. Young man is just a sophomore and has a chance to be a Division I student athlete. Great talent, and we look forward to seeing your squad. Coach, thank you for the time as always.
Hey, guys, it's definitely a pleasure. Thank you for all that you do. Look look forward to competing and being a part of it this year.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank you,
Coach.
I appreciate you guys.
And Howard Pride. Gosh, it's so good to have him back in our area.
I mean, because I believe he won it twice as a player, and he won it twice as a coach. So, and then he played. Don't forget, he also made a great run to the finals with a great Decatur team, and they ended up, I believe, losing to Grissom. But then they also lost in the state finals that year. He had a great team at Decatur. One of the best teams that I've seen out of the River City, and he's just had a really under the radar because he's moved around some, both on the college and the high school level. But he's had a big impact on the sideline.
Oh, all right. Let's get that final break in. We'll wrap it up with tomorrow's headlines.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Got an injury wreck working on the parkway just north of Useless. That one may have a lane blocked up. Everything else looks good. We're wrapping things up in good shape this morning. Got a lot of folks in last-minute dash mode, though. You be very careful as you make the last of that trip in. No hose, no mask. You could ask Dr. Sandman, that's Dr. Sandlin, for the medically proven benefits of the Somnodent for sleep apnea and for snoring. Dr. Sandlin, 350-CARE. Captain Nick in the North Parkway Popeyes Skywatch Traffic Center.
Drowning in IRS debt? If you can't afford to pay your IRS debt due to economic hardship, you can now be free of IRS collection efforts by taking advantage of a special IRS tax hardship program. This program allows Americans who owe the IRS to resolve their delinquent tax debt once and for all. In some cases, maybe even reducing what you owe significantly. An open phone line has been established by Community Tax for consumers to call and see if they qualify. Simply dial 800-251-2305. If you owe back taxes to the IRS and cannot afford to pay them back or have years of unfiled tax returns, help is standing by. Just call the Community Tax Helpline today at 800-251-2305 for the help that you need. Don't take on the IRS alone. They can attack your wages, savings, pension, home, and even your Social Security check. Call 800-251-2305 to see if you qualify. That's 800-251-2305.
Are you tired of chasing a roofing contractor to show up on time or even show up at all? I'm Sam Fleming with Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Our motto at Fleming Roofing is we show up. Our goal at Fleming Roofing is to provide the reliable customer service that you deserve, and we have the resources to meet all of your roofing needs: residential, commercial, industrial, replacement, or repairs. We are manufacturer certified for roof coatings, single-ply membranes, and asphalt shingles. Whenever you need a roofing professional you can count on, call Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We are committed to finding the solution that meets your needs. We don't have quotas or heavy-handed sales tactics. Fleming Roofing. We have expert experience. We show up. Free estimates. Residential, commercial, industrial, replacement, or repairs. Check us out at FlemingHSV.com. FlemingHSV.com. When you need a quick response, it's Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
Great food and the best live entertainment is what it's all about at the Furniture Factory Bar and Grill. Head to downtown Huntsville every Tuesday for karaoke on the only outdoor karaoke stage in North Alabama. Thursday night is the Valley's longest running and biggest bike night. Food and drink specials, giveaways, and live music on the patio. And the Furniture Factory menu is fully loaded with options from steaks to salads, plus a whole lot more. Featuring a weekday happy hour that starts at 3. 619 Meridian Street, downtown Huntsville, and online at FurnitureFactoryBarGrill.com.
Rambo Marine in Hazel Green is your one-stop shop for all things boating. Whether you are ready to surf with the newest Malibu wake boat or cruise on a Cobalt or Barletta pontoon, we have a boat ready for you and your family. Rambo Marine provides exceptional service second to none, so that you are ready to hit the water in no time. Stop by Rambo Marine today. We know boats.
It's time for tomorrow's headlines today with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Welcome back. Talking Ball 97.7 ESPN The Zone. We're going to wrap it all up here in 2 minutes and something odd seconds because that's how much time we have left in our show for the week. We are not doing one tomorrow. There is no Saturday show. Mm-hmm. So you can listen to UAH basketball tonight over the airwaves, and we'll have UAH basketball for you on Sunday.
That's what you need to do.
Airwaves.
You need to listen to do like me, stay away from
we want people to come.
Yeah, we do.
We just don't want you to come.
We don't want me to come, but what they need to do is
in a good way, though.
They need to come to watch Huntsville High take on Central of Phoenix City, the number 3 team in the state of Alabama in 7A against number 1 Huntsville, and you can listen to Steve and Wes if you can't get in the gym. Or Steve Scott. Sorry, I've been doing too much drive this week. Steve and Scott on the radio. Listen to them call UAH if you can't get to Spraggins. And if you can't get to Spraggins, come over to Huntsville High. Choose one of the two. You can watch Huntsville High basketball against number 3 Central Phoenix City. Listen to UAH, or you can do vice versa and watch the NFHS of Huntsville High.
Phoenix City have a lot of football players that are coming back. They have guys that are making their way back from the state
I don't
title.
think they have a ton of football guys, but they still got a really good basketball team. They've already been over to the Rocket City before Thanksgiving to take on Grissom. They were very impressive against them, and it's very tough to win over at Grissom, as you know.
Yeah.
Jack Doss has done a great job with their home court advantage. But Central Phoenix City, I believe they're 12-1. They are ranked number 3 in 7A. They reached the finals against Hoover last year. It's going to be another huge test for Huntsville High, who is having a remarkable start. Huntsville High, as we know, is 12-1 in their own right, number 1 in 7A right now, and number 17 in the country.
You know what? Maybe I'm going to bring this up here real fast. Maybe it's not all about name, image, and likeness money for Kyle McCord.
Yeah.
Because you know where he's expected to visit this weekend? Syracuse.
Yeah. There you go. He's not going to, because Dylan Raiola is going to get all that NIL money when he goes to Nebraska.
Syracuse have a couple million to put out for a quarterback?
Maybe. I mean, they've got Elijah Robinson as their defensive coordinator now, and Fael Diggs, and I guess there's another Diggs that happens to be visiting. It's probably his brother. They're from New Jersey. They're visiting Syracuse this weekend. Julian Fleming, another Ohio State Suckeye that got out of town, he's looking like he's going to Penn State to lose. So he decided to go from one underachieving Big Ten program to another.
All right. We'll find out who goes where, who ends up where on Monday. Transfer portal news and notes coming on
Alabama's
Monday.
got some visitors coming in, both and Auburn. Big last recruiting weekend.
Signing day is on Wednesday.
Look out.
So the countdown continues to National Signing Day Wednesday. We'll have more for you Monday.
You want the right specialist for your recovery. At SportsMed Orthopedic Surgery and Spine Center, we understand every body is different. Your muscles and bones are